Doug Gottlieb on the Doug Gottlieb Show. He's about to step into the hot seat for the first time.
The current temperature is...
The Odd Couple are making it hot in here.
Damn hot.
Time to sit your butt down in...
Real hot. Little crotch pot cooking.
The hot seat.
That's right. It is the hot seat, the Odd Couple Fox Sports Radio. We do this every single Wednesday. We invite one of our Fox Sports teammates to get into that squared circle with the tag team champions of the world, Chris Broussard, Rob Parker. Tonight's victim. You hear him every weekday here on Fox Sports Radio doing big things. Actually had the Odd Couple on, I think, last week.
Yes.
None other than Doug Gottlieb. Doug, how are you feeling this evening?
I'm good. I'm ready. I'm ready for these two suckers. They've been waiting on me. I know, taking notes all day.
Well, wait a minute, Doug.
Doug, don't take this personal.
We
are
you.
Undefeated.
Yes.
We're undefeated. We've actually never lost a round. So it's going to be ugly. Just know it's not personal.
But we even have, Doug, we have so much respect for you. We have a theme song for you.
Dougie Fresh, you're on.
Dougie Fresh, you're on. Come on, let's go.
That's the calm before the storm.
All right. Y'all know how this segment works. Doug has 3 very hot takes. He's ready to defend 2-on-1 against the Odd Couple. So let's get started. Take number 1. Doug Gottlieb says that this NBA plan for a bubble is just stupid. Doug, you got 30 seconds. State your case.
Well, there's multi-layers to why it's stupid. The first is it's a plan that's going to take shape in 2 months, and it was really laid out 2 months previously. Think about how the world has changed in the last 2 months and how much it'll change 2 months from now. The rest of the world's going to be open up for business, and they're going to play in a bubble. In addition, you're not going to get the best of these great basketball players. Anybody who's ever seen a 2-week road trip knows they wear down after 14 days. How do you think they're going to be in 3 months in their own bubble? And the last thing is, you're around even your best friend for 3 months. You're going to hate them. These players are going to hate each other. That much time around each other without any sort of other parties, it'll be awful.
I think they're going to do their best they can to make the bubble all the way live. I mean, it's going to be golf. It's going to be game rooms and ballrooms, best restaurants open. Food's going to be tremendous. Look, it's going to be challenging, but I think they're going to do their best to make it as great as they can for the players. And I think you got to do it for the health concerns. There are already players that are concerned about their health, and I don't think you can start sooner than July 31st because I know a lot of players are concerned about being in shape. And if they're not in shape, they'll get hurt.
Go ahead, Doug.
Well, if they're not, you can't get in shape in 2 months. That's the whole reason for the 8 lead-up games. But here's the thing, that you can only play foosball so many times, right? If you've ever been on a road trip with a buddy, by about week 2, you want to kick his ass. And usually a fight ensues. 3 months with even your best friend is not a good idea. And look, Disney World is going to be open, but the wide world of sports is going to be closed. Like, there's also going to be the envy of all these other sports, which will start playing in front of fans by the end of July and in August.
Doug, stop it. This is the only idea, the best idea that they can have. You know, the NBA and all sports, it's always about the cheddar. It's always better than the cheddar. They need to get these games on television so that the owners don't take a bath. It's not the best plan in the world, but it's the only plan to be able to get players back out there and try to finish an NBA season.
Wow.
What do you mean the only plan?
Doug, no swinging after the bell. Come on, you know the rules, buddy. Now, I must say,
Trae Young play a pickup player in a...
Doug, I think he would have been the first person to ever win a round where I disagree with the take, but I thought he made better points. But because he swung after the round, he loses points. So it's a 9-9 round in round number 1 of the hot seat. 9-9.
Unbelievable. Rob G's the worst.
Rob G's
you didn't lose. It's all right.
Horrible.
All right, we keep it moving.
Judge.
Round number 2. Doug Gottlieb here on the hot seat, the Odd Couple, Fox Sports Radio. Doug is the only one on your radio right now who thinks that John Stockton's longevity actually makes him a better player than Isiah Thomas all time. Doug, you got 30 seconds. Tell us why.
Well, listen, Isiah Thomas was great. During his 2 years of winning an NBA championship, and even the year that preceded when they lost in the finals to the Lakers, and he played on one leg, and I think he had 37 playing on a sprained ankle, Isiah Thomas was great. But Isiah Thomas had like a 3 or 4 year window where he was probably the best point guard in the league. John Stockton dominated the West. John Stockton elevated Karl Malone to being the second all-time leading scorer. John Stockton was as good or better defender on the basketball as anyone who's ever played the position. And when you're done,
Doug, stop it. Sports has a short menu, wins and losses. Isiah won championships. He's a top 50 player of all time. He is in the Hall of Fame, and his team won. When he won championships, he didn't even have a second top 50 player on his roster. How in the world could you look at John Stockton, who never won jack, and all those assists? He used to get assists for passing the salt and pepper to Karl Malone. It ain't even close.
Yeah, there was a lot of guys you can't name that he had created assists for. He's also a Hall of Famer. He was on the Dream Team, unlike Isiah, because dudes actually liked him, unlike Isiah. And, oh, yeah, by the way, look, Isiah I never said he wasn't great, but let's be honest. He only came out of the East because Larry Bird was hurt and broke down, right? And they didn't, when they went through Jordan and the Bulls, they didn't have to go through a full-strength Lakers because Magic got hurt. Byron Scott didn't even play in the entire series. So if we're honest, yeah, Isiah Thomas benefited from playing for one of the all-time great coaches, all-time great team. He's tremendous.
Doug, this is ludicrous, especially coming from a former point guard. 3-4 year window? Isiah Thomas was great for a decade. If he wasn't the best point guard in the league, it's only because Magic Johnson was in the league. And they beat Bird fair and square. You know they should have beat him the first year before they lost when Isiah made the turnover in Game 5. But Bird averaged 30 points and 9 rebounds the year Detroit finally got over the hump. So he was still a great player. And they beat up Jordan time and time again, led by Isiah. Isiah could do everything Stockton could do, plus take over a game.
All right, Chris, swinging after the bell. You know the rules. You got to stop. And I must say, this was a very tough round to score. But I got to side with the guy who played high-level college basketball, not the JUCO Chris Broussard. Round number 2 goes to Doug Gottlieb.
This is your last hot seat, Rob.
Hey, Rob, it should be 10-8 in that round because he swung after the bell, too.
See? Doug gets it. Doug gets it.
Last hot seat.
All right, here we go.
He's terrible.
Hey, calm down, odd couple. The last ones were 2.5 points. You can still steal this one. Could we save the hottest take for last? Doug Gottlieb says the real reason why Colin Kaepernick is not in the NFL right now is because he's just not very good. Doug, you got 30 seconds. State your case.
When was the last time Colin Kaepernick was an elite quarterback? The year was 2013. We were on the iPhone, 1 or 2 at the time? We're on the iPhone 11 by now, right? I mean, the entire football landscape has changed. Are there other issues with why he wasn't brought in? Sure. I'm not blind to that. But, in the NFL, if your talent can outplay your issues, you're still – Adrian Peterson was basically banned from the league for a year. Even though he's in his 30s, he still managed to stay in the league. Why? Because he can still run the football.
Doug, Kaepernick is good enough to be in the league, period. He's out of it because, as Joe Lockhart, the VP of Communications, said – He was bad for business in the eyes of owners. His last year, 2016, he had a 90.7 passer rating. That was 17th in the league. It was better than Cam Newton, Joe Flacco, Carson Wentz, Jameis Winston, Eli Manning. I could go on and on. Phillip Rivers. Come on, the dude is only 32 years old. The game is switching more to his style of quarterbacking, and his problem was not his game, it was his coaching staff. When Harbaugh left, Tom Sula, Chip Kelly, they were horrible.
Well, first of all, 4 years ago was when he was a backup in San Francisco, and he got to start at the end of the year. They were terrible. Those are empty stats. Wins and losses are quarterback stats. And, yeah, he was crazy athletic 7 years ago. He's since had leg surgery, arm surgery. He's not the same dude. If you watch him move in his workout last year, he just isn't. Again, all of this is dated material because it's been 4 years since he played in the NFL. You don't get better sitting out for 4 years. You get worse.
Doug, this is a league where Jay Cutler was pulled off the couch. His wife had to talk him back into playing football. Josh McCown. Really? Peterman? Where's Bubby Brewster? Are you kidding me that he couldn't have a spot in the NFL? They're giving guys clipboards and contracts, and to say that this guy doesn't deserve to be one of 3 quarterbacks on 32 teams is ludicrous. And the idea, this is the guy that Ron Jaworski said could be the greatest quarterback of all time. He's not old. He could still play.
He was terrible after Jaws said that.
Another tough round to score. Both sides had very good points. I felt like the knockout blow, though, was that Joe Lockhart quote. You can't really get over that one. Round number 3 and the game
goes
to the odd couple.
See, this is rigged. This is rigged. This is rigged.
Doug, don't feel bad. I
Totally
told
rigged.
you. You're just one of many. Nobody's
right.
ever beaten us, so don't feel bad.
Of course not. It's your show.
You did
You're not
about
supposed to
as
lose
good.
in your show.
You did as well as you could. You did as well as you could. That's our man, Doug Gottlieb. You can check him out every weekday, 3 to 6 p.m. Eastern, right here, Fox Sports Radio. It's an outstanding show, the Doug Gottlieb Show. Doug, man, thanks a lot. We appreciate it, brother.
All right, boys. See ya.
All right, peace.